Hi, I'm Katie and welcome to Be Smart Together. Please click subscribe and turn on the notification to avoid missing valuable videos. Also, feel free to drop a comment or throw me any Excel challenges, and I will show you the best way to deal with them in future videos. Now is your PT session. It is a pivot table session, not personal training. What is pivot table? Pivot table is a powerful tool for summarizing, calculating, and summarizing data for data comparison and analysis of trends and patterns. The two main components for pivot table are pivot table and field list. There are 4 boxes under the field list, the input field to the pivot table. The filter and row boxes are on the left, and column and value are on the right. Here is the list of topics that I want to walk you through in this video. Let us begin. Select any cell within the data and make sure there are no missing column headers. Then go to the Insert tab, and select Pivot Table. Excel will automatically detect the data range for you. Click OK to continue. Simply tick the boxes to add data into the pivot table. You can change the order by right-clicking on the right corner of the item and selecting Move Down, or Move Up. Or you can use your mouse to drag the item. Let's drag the suburb and drop it into the top left filter box. You can also drag any items from the above selection to any boxes below. Let's select period and drop it to the column box. Pivot table will automatically group date into year, quarter, and month as a default option. You can disable the automatic grouping by going to File and selecting Option. Then choose Data and tick the Disable Automatic Grouping box. Click on the plus icon to expand, and click on the minus icon to collapse. You can expand or collapse by right-clicking on the item header, selecting Expand or Collapse, then choosing the Expand Entire field. Repeat the same process to collapse all. You can only expand or collapse if multiple items are added into the column or row box. Right-click on the item header and select Ungroup. The grouped date is now ungrouped. To group the date, right-click on it and select Group. Simply click to select one or more from the list, and click to unselect it. Click OK to continue. If you don't like the subtotal, you can remove them by right-clicking on the subtotal header and unselecting the subtotal option. Repeat the same process to add back subtotal. You can remove grand total if you don't like it. Right-click on the grand total and select Remove Grand Total. To add back the grand total, right-click anywhere within the pivot table and select Pivot Table Options. Go to the Totals and Filters tab from the pop-up and tick Show Grand Total for rows. Click OK. You can move the pivot table field. Simply drag it and drop it to the left-hand side. Or drag it and drop it anywhere within the spreadsheet. Let's drop it back to the right. Go to the Pivot Analyze tab. Click on the field list to disable the pivot table field, and click it again to enable it. You can also change the layout. Click on the gear icon. Say we want to area section only. Let's switch it back. You can change the pivot table name in the top left corner of the Pivot Table Analyze tab. When I say change of value format, and if you think of changing it this week, then go to the value box and click on the value item. Then, select the value field settings. Click on the number format to change the format. Select currency from the pop-up, then click OK to continue. The highlighted field is the calculation type field. You can the calculation type here. Let's change it to average, then click OK. Now all the value formats are changed in one go. You need to use the change data source when the source data is moved, or new data is added. Go to the Pivot Table Analyze tab and click on the change data source. The data source is currently pointing to sales FY 1920. We want to change it to sales FY 2021. Go to the FY 2021 tab. Hold Ctrl+A to select the whole range and use the Delete key or backspace to clear it. Do not use the arrow keys to navigate in the source field. Click on cell A5, the period header. Then, hold Ctrl+Shift and hit the right arrow key, then down arrow key. Click OK to continue. We want to replace the suburb filter with slicer. Slicer is a fancy way to do filter. Firstly, let's remove the suburb item from the filter box. Then click on the slicer. Tick suburb from the Insert Slicer pop-up and click OK. The slicer defaults as a single column view. Let's change it to 5 columns view and adjust the slicer so it is viewable. Let's select from rows 2 to 3 and insert rows. Then, move the slicer to the top left corner. Let's make the pivot table looks a bit fancy. Select the slicer and go to the slicer styles. Find your favorite color and view. Go to the Design tab. Find your favorite color and view from the pivot table styles. Go to the View tab and untick grid lines. It will disable the grid lines. Let's have a go with the slicer. Select Adelaide. It works and looks great. Let's get rid of the subtotal. The numbers in the pivot table is average. Let me show you another way to change it. Right-click on the average of priced from AUD, select Summarize Values By, then choose Sum. Thank you for watching, and I hope you find this video helpful. Please don't forget to click like if you like the video.